Hello， 大家好，我係 Edith。咁今日呢條影片呢，其實就係關於 House and Land Package 嘅。點解會想拍一條關於 House and Land Package 嘅影片呢？自然就係因為咧，而家越嚟越多人移民過嚟澳洲啊，不論咧係用學生簽證啦、技術移民啦，定係投資移民，嚟澳洲嘅人就越嚟越多。再加上咧，而家喺澳洲啊，想租一個單位真係一屋難求啊，所以咧有好多人咧，佢哋為咗可以盡快 settle 喺澳洲咧，佢哋都會選擇去買自己嘅房屋嘅。另外一個好受大家歡迎嘅咧，其實就係 House and Land Package 啦。點解咧？因為咧喺香港可能咧你冇乜機會啦，去起一間自己嘅 dream house。但係如果你嚟到澳洲揾咗一個地方，你中意嗰笪地，你就可以去用一個 House and Land Package 去起自己嘅 dream home 啦。咁今日咧，我哋咧亦都咧邀請到喺西澳其中一個發展商 Jardine Property Group 嘅 Manuel 同埋 Darren 去同大家分享下呢一個 House and Land Package 嘅 process。如果大家都中意呢一類型嘅影片嘅話咧，就記得 like、share 同埋 subscribe 呢個 channel 啦。
Hi everyone, I'm Edith. I'm here today with the founder of Jardine Property Group, Manuel. How are you, Manuel?
I'm good, and you?
Very good, thank you.
That's good.
So Manuel, do you want to give us a little bit of background about your company and what your business does?
Sure. Basically, we're based in Fremantle in West Australia. We were established in 2005. First and foremost, we're property developers. So what we do is we source land from sitting landowners. We deal direct with those landowners. We acquire those land and we put together syndicates of investors who come on board and we fund the projects and then we build the projects out. So part of the process, we have a sales system. We have relationships with builders and relationships with contractors to be able to get these projects out on time and on budget. And we have returns and targets that we focus on. We've been doing this for the last 15 years and we've done extremely well. So much so that we're in the top 10 developers in WA, which is a big accomplishment for the size of group that we have. And we're constantly growing. So from year in, year on, growth has been large. We've got around 8 projects currently under construction or on the market. And from a pipeline of product, we have 1,500 lots that we have in our pipeline that we'll be developing out over the next several years.
So where are these developments located?
We focus on having our developments around major infrastructure, so hospitals, schools, freeways, transport, shopping centres, and also we only focus on the Perth metro, so we don't go out to country locations, mining sectors. We focus on the Perth location. We focus on the medium house price as well because that's very important. It's important for rentals and it's important to be able to sell these product or investors that buy our house and land package, if they choose to on-sell, that there's a larger market. We stay away from the top end and the bottom end. We find is volatile. We want to have a stable opportunity for our investors who invest capital in our projects so we can actually move these projects on, and also for investors buying house and land packages, we want them to be able to have the maximum growth in the market, and also if it comes time that they want to move on their house, that there's a larger market for it.
Can you name a few suburbs?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in Wattle Grove, great location. Sanagra is up near Joondalup and Wanneroo, A-class location. Ankertel, Wundee, Bellevue, Casuarina, Baldivis. So we're pretty much across Perth, the northern corridor, the southern corridor, and also inland as well, the eastern corridor.
So if there's an investor interested in your project, who are your typical investor?
We deal with your sophisticated investors, the wholesale investors, but we also deal with some of our partners who have AFSL licenses where they raise the capital. And generally, if I have someone that wants to invest, we deal direct if there's that relationship. But if they're not a sophisticated investor, then we will pass them on to the licensee holder, and that licensee holder will put them into one of our projects. That being said, we're also in the process of forming a Jardine Capital Fund, and that would have investors that come in on board, where we would have, instead of an investor investing in one project, they'll have a spread over several projects, so it gives them more of a stable return. You don't have your peaks and your valleys, so it's more of a stable and less risk proposition for them.
Fantastic. So if someone really interested, who should they contact?
Contact us.
Oh.
They can contact us and we can have an initial discussion, and then, but obviously we would go through the proper processes.
All right. Okay, so now we have Darren, the sales manager of Jardim. So Darren today is going to explain to us the process of building a home. Darren, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Darren Clark. I'm the sales manager at Jardim Property.
Lots of people interested in buying a house and land package, but they have no idea how to start the process. So let's say I'm interested in one of your land or one of your development.
Yep.
And what do I need to do? Do I contact you, or can you explain more how we can start the process if someone is interested?
The very first part of the process is actually sitting down and having a look through your finances and investigating whether it's an option for you to put together a house and land package. An awful amount of benefits of building a new home. It's also beneficial in investment purposes as well. To put together a house and land package, normally we sit down with the clients, we have a look at what they can do, what they can't do, and from that side of it, from there, then we find a piece of land that suits their budget and suits with what the requirement of what they want. We go through and we put together the home. And the inclusions, you'll have loads and loads of questions on what it is that you want and what you want to achieve out of the package, and that's really what we're here to take care of for you.
First, they will need to speak to you, and then you will have an understanding of what their needs are.
That's correct.
Okay, so once they decided on a piece of land, what will be the next step?
When you've got there, gone through the initial process, then we put a hold on the piece of land that you like. When you put a hold on the piece of land, that'll buy you 48 hours. On a normal package, it gives you 48 hours where you can do a feasibility study. At that point, when you're doing a feasibility, you'll be able to work out whether you're happy with the land, you're happy with the build, you're happy with the finance, and so you can make a more informed decision. At the end of it, you'll be able to come to a yes or no agreement.
After 48 hours or within that 48 hour, I definitely want to go ahead to take that piece of land to build a home on it.
Ooh.
So
it's exciting.
Does that mean
that's exciting. Hey, no. When you've committed and you're going, I definitely want to build a home. At that point, then you would put in action with taking care of the builder, and you'd take care of the land deposits. So you put together the land deposit and the builder deposit. And then that secures your package. All of the paperwork is done via DocuSign. Really simple, really easy. From your end of it, if there's any questions that you're not sure about, then you ask the questions.
If we decided to go ahead, can we choose our own builder?
Some packages yes, some packages no. Some packages have exclusive builders on them. They've been designed where they shorten down your time frames. So if it's essential to get, if you're tenanting the home and you want a tenant to go into there, then you'll want a shorter time frame as possible. If you have a look here, you can see this is done for an investor group, and you can see here the time frames are shortened down into a very tiny compact time frame, and that's to keep your costs down and you get your tenant in your home quicker and sooner. If you go through a normal package, those time frames in here, see where it says 1 to 2 weeks, in here 1 to 2 weeks for your colour section, that can take 3 months, and that's the difference, is it takes longer and it takes more time.
It takes longer time is because the person wants to spend more time to pick their preference, to make sure that everything's to their liking.
With that particular package there, the builders have already done their conformity. They already can see that the house plans all work. That's when you know that that'll sail straight through. So when I say sail straight through, I'm talking about going through the shires, making sure that it goes through and they're all happy with the plans. That side of the process has already been shortened and taken care of with the investment projects.
How much deposit they need to put in?
Deposits vary a lot. You'll sit with many different builders, many different land estates, and their deposits vary. A builder, for instance, their deposits will vary anywhere from $2,000 through to $10,000 depending on the builder. And the same with the land estates. So land estates, our deposits vary from $1,000 through to $5,000.
Pretty much after you pay the deposit, what will be the next step?
When you've paid the deposit, with the land side of it, it's very easy. Then goes into a trust account, and when it goes into that trust account, nothing happens with that money until you either get finance approved or you don't. It's important that you understand that none of it gets spent on the land side of it. With the build side of it, it's a different story. They do a lot of work. Now, if you don't get finance, often the builders are out of pocket.
Okay.
It's quite surprising. Like, to actually get a set of plans through and approved through a shire, it's around about $10,000 by the time you add up the man hours that goes into it. A lot of builders will do it at a nominal fee, and that fee will be like for instance with this investment group here, you'll see there that it's a $5,000 deposit that gets paid. Now, that fee there covers about half of what it actually costs. This will help with making sure that there's no hold-ups at all with your process.
In the event that if finance doesn't get
Yeah.
approved, the $5,000 deposit is gone from the builder side.
That's correct.
Okay.
They will have spent it, and your plans might be sitting in shire by that point.
Can they reuse it for other
Yeah,
home and land package next
Oh,
time?
yes. With some builders, if you get there and you want to rebuild, no problems at all. When you settle on a piece of land, that's where the bank releases their funds, and the funds then travel across to the settlement agent, and then the settlement agent disperses the funds from there. And that's when they pay us, that's when they pay the land developer their money for the block of land, and that's when paperwork gets written where you then, where it goes to the land gate, and that's where they then fill in the paperwork to finalise that it's your block of land.
Now all the finance is approved, settlement is done. I can finally pick my internal now.
Yes,
design.
and it's exciting time. It's where you get to individualise your home. If you want any particular upgrades, you're welcome to upgrade at that point. With investor packages, you don't worry about it. It's about making sure that your return on investment's kept simple. Your colour selections are kept really simple, where you'll have 2 or 3 different packages or boards of colours where you'll tick which one you want, and then you're done. You save all that time and energy going into actually choosing everything individually.
So if the client want to buy this home for themselves to live in, usually how long does it take for them to pick, or how long will the builder allow them to have the time to pick everything so they can move on to the next step?
Normally, depending on how long it takes to get finance approved, it can vary a little bit.
But does the builder give you a time frame, or you must get back to me with your decision within 1 month?
Normally, you have a meeting with the builder, and it's at that point where you choose all your colours and you choose all your tiles and you choose all your selections for the home.
Also at that particular meeting?
Yes.
You make all of your decision?
That's correct.
Okay.
So the first one where you put together your package, that's where you pay your money, that's where you put everything in place so that you're underway. Once you get to a point where the plans have been drawn, and then the builder will book an appointment with you. Now, in your case, it might be a Zoom meeting, or it might be done differently where you're not face to face, but you can still do all your selections as well.
What's after that? What after you picking all your interior?
Once you've done all your selections and that's all taken care of, from there the builder logs it, and then you'll get final paperwork to say that that's your selections and that's what you've chosen. And that's where you tick that off and get on with building your home. So when you go, once all your work and drawings are done, then it goes in for all your shire approvals, and they make sure that this part here is all correct, and then once they've got all the shire approvals back and it's all been signed and all okayed by everybody, then from there they put it in to be scheduled, and that's where you start constructing your home.
In normal time, how long does it take to get the approval before the builder can start work?
Normally it takes 1 to 2 months. It'll take slightly longer when you're building a more individualised home.
That means when you pay for the deposit,
Yep.
they are already getting the approval?
That's correct.
So they happen concurrently?
It happens concurrently. What's different here is we're talking about an investor package,
Yeah.
and we're also talking about personal packages. So they're 2 completely different packages, yet the same.
Okay, so when we get all the approval
Yeah.
from the government,
Yeah.
we can start building. So
Yeah.
when we start building, can you explain the step that is involved?
So once all the approvals are in, then what happens is your project then goes in to be scheduled, and they will have it where, now when I say scheduled, it means that they send out all the orders for your whole home to all the different groups and anyone involved in actually building this home, and then from there all the orders are taken care of, and it means then they can actually book in when they're going to lay the slab. all the concrete. So when I say that, at that point, when the builder gets to the point where they can put the concrete slab down and start construction, at that point there, normally takes about 4 to 6 weeks after everything's through, all your approvals and everything. Now, with the investor packages, you can have a slab down in 2 weeks because they actually have sped up that process.
Yeah.
So everything's already been scheduled even before the final approvals come back.
After the slap down, how much money does the client have to pay?
So depending on the bank, so normally it might be 10 or 15%. That gets checked off. They make sure that the slab's been put down, so there will be photographs. And the builders, most builders will have a online portal. They have where you can actually go in and you can see the progress of your build going on. And it's fantastic with the way you can be anywhere in the world and you can actually see your build happening. So that online portal is where you can access all your information and it keeps you very up to date with all the stages.
That's fantastic, especially for people who are overseas.
Absolutely.
They can just look at the build process themselves, they're here.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Once it gets scheduled, then there's very few hold-ups with actually having the home built. It's like a machine. It's just like a well-oiled machine as a general rule. So when you get your concrete slab down, it's a very exciting time as it actually becomes real and you can see what's going on. At that point in time, once that's done, the builder will put in a claim and they'll draw a drawing. That drawing will be around about 15%, and it does vary depending on the builder. Normally it's around 15% that's required. Once the slab's been down for the concrete part of it, the slab, once that's been down for a couple of weeks, then they'll get all the bricks delivered and then they'll get on with the actual constructing of all your walls. And once the walls are all up where they've all been completed, then you'll need to organise a drawdown of another 25%. As each stage of the home goes up, that's when you'll need to pay the extra money. Once you get to the walls all done, then they put on the next part is roof cover. With roof cover, that's where they basically makes your house waterproof. That's the part that gets there. So it's all open. You walk inside and it's all open. It's raw. It means that, there's no water getting back in your home. At that point, you'll need to pay about another 20%. Then the next part is where the bricklayers are put in all your windows and your doors and all that side of it. The next part's lock up, and that's where they put in all the glass, they put in the front and the back doors, they make sure that it's all closed up, and it means that nobody can get in your home anymore. At that point, there'll be another payment, and that payment is roughly another 15%. You've paid out a lot of money at that point. The builder still has a lot of work to do. So they've got to do all the finishes that go on inside the home. So there's the plastering and there's all various different things, kitchens and bathrooms, and they've got to finish it off. So the time frame to get to that point is very quick. The finishes take a bit of time as well. So even though it feels like it's built and nearly done, it's really got a little bit more time frame. Very quick initially, and then takes a bit of time to get it looking really nice.
So when everything's done, the client is happy with all the condition, then they can take the key now?
Yes. Once the builder has rectified any little things that you maybe needed to be cleaned up or just touched up and rectified. By the way, there's a lot of people have a building inspector come in at that point. Their building inspector, which I thoroughly recommend it. If you're from overseas and you're not here for walking through it, you need somebody to make sure that your build's perfect, to the best standard that it can be. And the best way around that is to employ, somebody that can actually look at it and check it for you.
So before they actually take the key, that's the remaining that they need to pay, right?
There is another 5%, which gets paid at practical completion. It's the final part of the payment for the home. That's where the list of, if there's anything that needed to be adjusted, gets done, and that's where that's been completed. When you sign off the home, that's when they've rectified anything.
So when they get the key, that means that's it. If there's anything that needs to be fixed, is there warranty or anything of some sort?
That is correct. Now, all builders vary their warranties. Normally, they come back in 6 to 12 months after the build, because there might be a few little things simple little things often come up at that point. And it might be like a faulty drawer runner or something like that in the kitchen. You make a list, and then at that point, the builder will come in at the 6-month maintenance period, and they will take care and fix it. So it's all taken care of. Then you have your normal standard warranties and your normal standard guarantees. Depending on the builders determines the time frames. So that all vary a little bit. There is a mandatory 6-year warranty which comes with your home. That's mandatory. There are a lot of builders that do lifetime warranties as well. And now when I say lifetime, that is 25 years. That's really common as well. I think the most important part is enjoy the whole process. We don't build many homes in our life.
Enjoy the process.
Oh, absolutely. All of it. It's fantastic because you're putting your creativity on the planet. A lot of people, buy established homes, but you don't have the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. No one's ever lived in this home. No one's ever, you've decided how it looks. You've decided.
It's very personal, all your personal touch there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Darren,
no worries.
for going through with us the whole process of building a home. Thank you so much.
咁頭先大家都聽完咧 Darren 同大家講解關於呢個 House and Land Package 嘅資訊啦，同埋 process， 希望咧佢嘅資訊能夠幫助到大家。下條片再見，拜拜。